the due date, and and make sure that make sure that you're a good applicant for it, a strong applicant for it. Also, and we kind of touched on this with the spreadsheet, but just remember that there are many different factors that make you eligible for scholarships and search terms that you should use to search for scholarships. Just a whole range. So we'll just list a few of the categories here. Search by major, of course, or academic field or discipline, but also your hobbies, your work experiences. There are a lot of scholarships out there that value students who have had work experience, who have worked part-time jobs while studying. There's a lot like that. Based on career goals, based on heritage, religious or cultural affiliation, military service, community service. Definitely a lot of scholarships that prioritize students who have done a lot of community service and have goals related to community service. Gender and sexual preferences, campus organizations and services that you've been a part of, unions or companies, organizational affiliations that you have. So all kinds of different ways to think about kind of searching for scholarships, and just to think about your different experiences and interests that would make you eligible for different scholarships. Okay, here we go. Other questions to think about. So is the scholarship renewable is one question. So, know whether if you apply for a scholarship and you win it, do you get it for 1 year or do you get it for 2 years? Is this a scholarship that you're going to get for one academic year or for multiple academic years? That's definitely something to find out. And then, are there requirements involved in the scholarship? Are there things that you need to do in order to renew the scholarship? Maintain a certain GPA or complete a certain, if it's a service related project, maybe you need to complete a certain amount of community service hours. So be aware of the requirements of any scholarships that you win, and don't assume that you'll be renewed for an award academically. So, automatically. So find out about those things. On these online databases, keep your profiles updated. If you change your major, especially any significant changes to your area of study, or you remember, you just think of certain, experiences that you've had, add that to your profile so that you can be, more accurately matched to different scholarships by these databases like Unigo and CAPEX that we mentioned before. Apply to essay contests, I would say, is a good thing to do. Mainly because they're pretty quick and easy to apply for. Most essay contests are very short essays. And it's also good practice. Essays are a huge component in scholarship applications. So really, doing a lot of scholarship essays, especially, there are a few basic kinds of scholarship essay. There's usually the backward looking essay where they want to know about what have been the key experiences in your past that have kind of formed your current outlook and goals in terms of your studies and what you're pursuing. So thinking of that, especially if you can think of one or two like stories from your past that kind of illustrate a major change in your life and outlook, or just something that gave you direction and purpose. Those are usually really good stories to tell in that kind of essay, and a ton of different scholarships will ask for that same story. So if you look for essay contests that relate to that kind of thing, it gives you a chance to refine your that scholarship essay type, and just keep making it better and better. And also just makes your job easier because you'll already have kind of a ready-made scholarship essay that you can adapt and continue improving. But it does cut down on, you don't have to create an essay from scratch every time if you're looking for scholarships where it has that kind of general essay about past experiences that have shaped your kind of where you are. The other basic kind of scholarship essay just concerns your future goals and detailing like, what do you want to do in the future, which is probably the harder essay to do, but it's okay in that kind of essay to think about, okay, what's a possible path that I could pursue? And the more you can write about your goals specifically and describe kind of what steps you need to take to achieve those goals, the better that's going to play with scholarship committees. They're going to like that if you can do that. It's harder to do, but again, just think of possible paths for yourself if you haven't settled on understandably, specific career goals that you're pursuing yet. But do apply to essay contests. It doesn't take long. Usually essay contest scholarships, that's kind of the only thing that's required, is an essay contest, and you don't have to get letters of recommendation and things like that can take a longer amount of time. And on those websites like Unigo and CAPEX that I covered, a lot of what you'll get are essay contests. You're not typically going to get a lot that involves, letters of recommendation and submitting samples of your work. They're typically going to be, do this one-page essay, do this half-page essay. And I would say do that, especially when, like I said, it touches on, those typical scholarship essays of what have your personal experiences been that have shaped kind of who you are and what your goals are, and then what are your future goals. Do those kinds of essays because you'll do them over and over for different scholarships. Okay, we're gonna skip this one because we don't have time to actually do scholarship searches here, but again, this is just touching on all the different just categories you can think about for yourself that you could search for scholarships, based on how relevant these categories are for you and your different experiences and interests within them. Okay, those of you who are considering UCLA, interested in UCLA, if you're coming in as, if you'd be coming in as transfer students, there are two scholarships I want to let you know about. One is if you don't already know about them, one is the Transfer Alliance Program Scholarship, and that is that's a partnership that UCLA has with various California community colleges, where if you've been a part of the honors program at your community college, you should receive an invitation to apply for this scholarship, the TAP Scholarship, Transfer Alliance Program Scholarship, and that's geared towards transfer students into UCLA, and it's a $5,000 renewable scholarship for 2 years. So that's a good one to keep in mind. And then we also have a reentry scholarship for transfer students, but it's geared towards older transfer students. So students who are 25 or older would be eligible for that one. But that's another scholarship for transfer students coming into UCLA. That one's not necessarily tied to being part of the honors program at your community college. So those are two transfer scholarships specific to UCLA that I want you guys to be aware of. And there can be other UCLA opportunities as well, but those are just two of the major ones where there are a lot of scholarships that are offered for those two. And when you become a UCLA student, that does give you access to more individualized services that we offer in our office, Scholarship Resource Center. And so if you do come to UCLA, I strongly encourage you guys to make use of those services. Basically, we'll work one-on-one with students on scholarship applications and that sort of thing with UCLA students. But everybody, UCLA student or not, is very welcome, of course, to visit our website, to contact us with any questions. And again, our website, unfortunately, our URL doesn't seem to be on these slides, but let me tell you one more time. It's Scholarship Center, all one word. So Scholarship Center, all one word, .ucla.edu. Lots of good resources on our website, and you can ask questions and contact us through the website as well. And we're happy to respond to that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, no, I think that's okay. Your homework. Well, again, just to recap kind of what we do recommend signing up for those CAPEX and Unigo, those kinds of scholarship databases, as well as conducting your own Google searches. Honestly, I think conducting your own Google searches is probably like the best, but it's a good idea to see what you can find from Unigo and CAPEX and other databases like that as well. And I think you can take it as, again, aim for that goal of 1 to 2 hours per week working consistently on scholarships. And when you start out, just try to find 2 to 3 scholarships that you can get started with. You don't need to find 12 scholarships before you apply. Find a couple that you're eligible for, and there should be plenty of essay contests on CAPEX and Unigo that you're eligible for, as well as ones you can find through Google search, and start applying for those, start working on those, and keep that spreadsheet, so you can keep yourself organized and and look for those scholarships that have, especially those essays that you'll see over and over again, past experiences, future goals. If you can get, versions of your essay for those two areas, and just keep refining those over time, that'll go a long way towards making you a strong candidate for scholarships. The essay is really important. Okay, and then when you become a UCLA student, definitely look us up first thing. But all right, and that's everything, I think. So thank you guys for your attention. If anyone, Santi, I'll put it back to you. But if anyone has questions and there's time for it, I'm happy to address that, or well, I'll let you decide.
Yeah, we have a little bit of time to take a couple of questions. If any of you have any questions, you can either put it on the chat, or you can unmute yourself and just or raise your hand. I think Joycelyn, I think you see your hand up. So if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes. So I just have a question. Is it mandatory for the student if even they already applied the scholarship in a community college before to apply the other scholarship? They show the CAPEX and the UNICO.
So that if you've already applied for scholarships for this fall, do you need to then apply for more scholarships? Am I understanding the question correctly?
So I mean, is it mandatory to apply the other scholarship from the two websites?
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's not mandatory. No, no, that's just a suggestion. Those two websites, Unigo and CAPEX, I think can be useful. But no, I certainly wouldn't call that mandatory at all. It's just a resource for you that might be useful. And like I said, I think ultimately searching yourself through Google is honestly probably the most effective search engine there is. But I do like, I think it's good to have just look at a diversity of options. So, you may well find, I think scholarships on Unigo and CAPEX that are good to apply for. So it's a good supplement, I think, to conducting your own searches. And this is just, what you've already applied for, through your community college. That's great to do. I just want you guys to know that there are a lot of different avenues to apply for scholarships. So, I would say, you never want to, until you're fully awarded with scholarships, you never want to stop searching for scholarships. It's always a good idea to kind of look for more. So even after you've won a scholarship or two, if you still have room in your financial package to accept more scholarships, keep searching. And if you found scholarships for this current year already, like I said at the outset, we're really, what's on offer right now are scholarships for next academic year. So if you already have scholarships for this year, it's a good time to start thinking about scholarships for next year as well.
Thank you. We have time to do one more question. If anyone has a question, so.
Oh, what's the
yeah, go ahead.
What's the maximum amount one can receive from scholarships?
I would say, yeah, it's a good question. There are definitely, there are scholarships out there that are full ride scholarships. So it's possible to win, and then that would be not just tuition, but full cost of attendance. So just at UCLA, for example, I think full cost of attendance in state is, may not remember it exactly, but I think like $36,000. So if you won a full ride to UCLA as as an in-state student, it could be up to that amount, 36,000 or 37. And of course it would depend on the school, but that said, those are rare opportunities. The majority of the scholarships you're going to find, I would say, are going to be between $1,000 and $5,000 scholarships. That's what you see most frequently, I think. But I would say don't shy away from that. a lot of students are able to, it's rare to be able to get the full ride scholarship, but it's not that rare to be able to get a number of smaller scholarships. And, $1,000 may not seem like much, but, you win a few of those and that starts to add up. And there, it's just easier to win $1,000 and $5,000 scholarships because there are more of them. Full ride scholarships are fairly rare. So they exist and it's possible to win, a large amount like that. But I would say what you're going to find most commonly, $500, $1,000, $5,000 scholarships in that range. But I would say don't shy away from that. Every bit counts. And when you win a scholarship, honestly, I think the scholarship process definitely takes work applying for scholarships, but I think, it's less work than say, a part-time job. So I think, if you put some effort into the scholarship process and you win a few $1,000 scholarships or a few $5,000 scholarships, that quickly adds up to something significant. So I think that's typically what you'll see. But I would say don't shy away from scholarships just because it feels like, oh, it's only, $1,000. That I need so much more than that. But it's a start. And another thing I would say is just that the hardest scholarships to apply for are the first 1 or 2 or 3 scholarships you apply for, because it's new and because you're putting material together for the first time. Your essay is coming together for the first time. If you have to get a letter of rec, you're trying to get that for the first time. But after you've applied to a few scholarships, it becomes easier and easier, so that you can reuse that old scholarship essay. You still want to update it and maybe try to make it better, but it's still less work than creating an essay from scratch. So it gets easier over time to apply for scholarships. And then I think it becomes even more and more worth it in terms of your time to apply for, $1,000 scholarships, $5,000 scholarships. But you have to get started, right, to get to that point.
Great. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for joining us on a Saturday and hanging out with our scholars. We truly appreciate it. And
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thanks everybody for your attention. And yeah, I encourage you to check out our website and send along any questions, as they come up for you.
All right. So we're gonna also talk a little bit because I know a lot of you are applying at this point, right, to transfer for fall 22, right? And you may have noticed that the application you're filling out also is not only an admissions application, but also a scholarship application. So through the admissions application, and maybe you already got into that point in the section in the application, we ask you to look at the different categories of that they're offering, and there's a and I'll go over in a minute, but there's a section that specifically for transfer students as well. So you want to make sure you're also doing that one. But one that I want to talk in particular today is the Regent Scholarship. I don't know if anyone is aware of that scholarship, and I don't know if any of the peer advisors were invited to apply for that. If you did, just can let me know. I know there's for sure there's one scholar that got invited and received it last year. So she wanted to be here today with us, but it is also today's the UCLA USC game, and she had tickets for it. So I don't blame her. I would have gone to that too. But she did record a video for us. So Marilyn Martinez is a transfer student from Pasadena City College. She's also a Regent recipient in one of those scholarships that is pretty well prestigious, and a lot of you get a lot of different benefits from it. So let me actually share my screen. Hold on. Let me see. Was there anyone that was? Yeah, I'm not sure if it. Okay, great. So are you able to see the screen? Okay, so this scholarship was established in 1962 by the Regents as the highest honor to be conferred on an incoming student, right? So it's only offered to students who are incoming, and you don't apply for it directly. So you submit your application, your admissions application, and of course, for the other scholarships that are listed in the application, if you meet whatever requirements they're looking for, you will also be considered for those. But this one, each of the campuses will work with the admissions office to look for basically 3 areas that they're looking for. They're going to look for leadership. They're going to look for exceptional promise, and they're going to look for academic excellence. Basically, they're looking for a lot of students who are doing well academically, and the minimum GPA for transfer applicants is 3.5 to be considered for that application. I mean, for that scholarship. And then, but they're also going to look at the information included in your application as it relates to your extracurricular activities. And then they're also going to review what you included in the PIQs as well. So through the process of reviewing the application, the admissions office at the same time will be deciding on students who they feel meet these high standards of leadership, exceptional promise, and academic excellence. And then they will invite those students to apply. So they still, just that's the first step. And then after that, they'll send you an invitation. And in that invitation, it will ask you to write an essay, and basically trying to determine how well thought out you have your time once you transfer, right? So that's the part, the exceptional promise. That's kind of what the essay is going to ask you to do. It's going to ask you to think about how can you make the most out of the time that you're here. And that's why they want to, again, provide you with the financial support so that you are able to do what you want to do once you transfer. So again, based on leadership, exceptional promise, and academic excellence, you're invited to apply. You're selected by a faculty panel, minimum 3.5 GPA for transfer students, and it's only offered to entering community college students. It's not someone, someone who was already transferred couldn't apply for it. And it's offered for 2 years. So for students who are coming directly from high school, it's offered for 4 years, and then for transfers, it's offered for 2 years. You do have to maintain a 3.0 GPA, and you have to be making progress with your units in the minimum amount of units, which is 12 quarter units. And some of the benefits that I have listed them right here. I think it does depend on your financial need, and if it's being covered by other grants or free money, then they might just give you like the minimum, which is about $2,000. But if that has not covered all of the costs, including housing, then they will give you up to $9,000. They also give you prior enrollment, guaranteed housing and parking, and they also offer faculty mentorship. In addition to that, you're eligible to be part of the Regent Society as well. So Marilyn, who again couldn't be here, transferred from Pasadena City College this last fall, and she actually is in the society, and she has one of the leadership positions in there. So she sent us a video. So let's take a look at the video, okay? Hold on. And let me know if the sound is okay, all right?
Hello, everyone. My name is Marilyn Martinez, and I'm super excited to be here today to talk to you guys about the Regent Scholar Society / Scholarship. CCCP was my first home at UCLA, and so it is an honor to be back and to be speaking to you guys about such a great topic. Okay, so let me start with just introducing myself. Like I said, my name is Marilyn. I am a second-year transfer, which just means I'm a senior. I'm graduating this spring and I'm very excited. I originally transferred from Pasadena City College in 2020, where I received my 3 associates in sociology, psychology, and social and behavioral sciences. Then here at UCLA, I pursued a double major in sociology and Chicanx in Central American Studies. I am also the Transfer Affairs Director for the Regent Scholar Society. I am a Bruin Ambassador for the Admissions Office, and I also work as an AAP peer counselor, which is AAP houses CCCP. So I love all things AAP, all things CCP, and so I'm very excited to be here. So now let's start by talking about the Regent Scholarship. Now, this is a merit and needs-based scholarship, and it is awarded to the top 1.5% of all admitted students. I think the percentage is even smaller for transfer students, which makes it such an honor. It is invite only, so I do want to preface this conversation by saying that. However, it is $2,000 every quarter if chosen, and it also is a partial needs-based scholarship, and the reason I say that is because they will meet additional need that you can prove or demonstrate, and so I think that comes in handy, especially if you do have some unmet need. So now some of the perks that you get along with this scholarship include priority enrollment. So you will get 10 units of priority enrollment, and because you are already coming in as a junior or senior, you already have a pretty good enrollment. Now added with the priority enrollment, you are the first in the whole school to enroll in classes. You also get guaranteed parking with UCLA Regent Scholarship, which is especially nice if you are planning to commute like myself, or if you plan on living on campus and bringing your car along. Parking at UCLA is application based, and so that can become a little tricky if you don't get parking. And then we also offer community and built-in friends, which is very nice when you are thinking about UCLA, when you are learning how to navigate such a big campus. That community might come in handy. And so we are a safety blanket for our students. We also do offer academic and professional development, and this comes in many ways. We have zombie talks with professors. That is very fun. It is an event where professors from each department kind of come together and debate which major would most likely survive a zombie apocalypse. We also have coffee with med students, dinner with pre-law students, and we also offer mentorship, and we offer 3 different types of mentorship, and all of these 3 come in handy when used. We have faculty mentorship. This means that a professor in your department will mentor you. We also have peer mentorship, which if you are a transfer means another transfer will come in and mentor you during your first quarters at UCLA. And we also have alumni mentorship, and this comes in handy, especially as you begin to think about what you're going to do in the future, what you want to do post-grad. Okay, so now that I've talked about some of the perks of the scholarship, let's move forward. Like I mentioned at the beginning, this is invite only. And it is for people with very competitive GPAs or who have shown extreme leadership skills or contributions to the community and society. However, I do not want you to be discouraged if you do not receive an invite, because there are various ways that you can receive scholarships both at your community college and at your 4-year institution. And so I do want to describe some of these. First is at your community college. For Pasadena City College specifically, which I hope some of you are from, my fellow Lancers, here is the website. I want you to take a picture of this, screenshot it, anything, and I want you to come on and click sign in with your institution and make a profile. Here you will find so many scholarships you can apply to. I applied to the scholarships my last fall that I was at community college, and I did not receive any, not at all. I applied to 5 and got none. And so I was very discouraged. I won't lie. I was thinking, I'm falling behind. I'm not going to have any money for the next time, for my application cycle to enter college. And so this was something that worried me. However, I applied again in the spring. I applied to 2 scholarships, I think, and I received both. And so that definitely was a blessing. It was the Academic Senate Scholarship. And the other one, I don't remember, but it was a smaller one. And I just received the mail and the check over the summer. And so that definitely helped me with buying my books for my summer quarter at UCLA. And so even if you are at your last quarter, which I know a lot of you are not yet, you still have fall, you have spring, I want you to make this account and apply to scholarships. I'm sure you're going to hear this many times today, but scholarships and applying to them is a number game. So the more you apply, the better chances you are of receiving one. And so I want you to go to your community college, even if you're not, or if you're not in person, I guess, via the website online, and I want you to find your scholarship portal or your scholarship center or office. I promise you almost all institutions will have one. And so, funny enough story, the profile that I used for my community college, I got to reuse for UCLA. So when I was admitted into UCLA, I just copied and pasted over my application. It had my name, my address, my GPA, some of my extracurricular activities, awards, things like that. I think it was a personal statement about academic and personal difficulty. And then I just copied and pasted over it. And then I got invited to apply to the Regent Scholarship, and I applied on a whim. I had been working on my application for so long. The day it was due, I deleted it and I started all over, and I got it. And so that just goes to show that when you least expect it, it could happen for you. And so here is this link. I want you to save it because I know a lot of you will be admitted into UCLA. And so I want you to have this link for the future. This is the scholarship portal for UCLA. And I'm sure you'll hear about it today, but I just wanted to include it in here just in case. Then to talk more specifically about the Regent Scholarship, I want to talk about how this can the application is set up. So like I said, you will first include your scholarship application that you put into the portal. Then the question for my year and the question for this past year of transfers was, how will you maximize / make the most out of your time at UCLA? And so as I had mentioned previously, I worked on my application for almost a week before it was due. And I talked about, when I get to UCLA, I will maximize my time by doing A, B, C, D, E. It was just a list of things I wanted to do, right? And I went to my local transfer center at Pasadena City College, and they told me, this is a great essay. It's really well written, but it's not what they're looking for. They're promises, right? And there's nothing that backs up these promises. How does the committee know that you're going to follow through, right? And so she said, you have to kind of make an argument. You have to say, this is what I will do. Here is the evidence that I am proving to you I will do this. And so the way that I did this, I will give you a small example. I said, when I get to UCLA, I want to join the, I think it was the Honors Transfer Society. The reason I want to join this society is because I am an Alpha Gamma Sigma at my community college, which is an honor society. This honor society has connected me to like-minded individuals who also like community service, who are very committed to their studies, etc. And so it was kind of through this way that through past experiences, past accomplishments, I was able to prove to them that I would do what I had said. And so this is kind of the way you want to go when writing your personal statements. You want to focus on your personal attributes, on your personal accomplishments, on any unusual life circumstances. You really do want to get comfortable speaking about yourself. And this is something that I struggled with a lot. I felt very uncomfortable showing off all of my achievements, right? It felt like showing off, but it really wasn't. It was just talking about myself that made me uncomfortable. And so if you take something away from today, I want you to get comfortable with talking about yourself. It's going to come in handy when you're applying to scholarships, when you're applying to the UCs, and just in general when applying to anything. So now some closing remarks. I am so sorry. I am speaking very fast and I hope all of this information is making sense. But if I can leave you with some closing remarks, some last advice, I really do encourage you to apply to as many scholarships as you have time for. Because ultimately it is a numbers game. So if you apply to 5, your chances of getting 1 is much better than if you just apply to 1, right? And so I want you to apply as many as you can. It is never too early. It is never too late. Like I said, I applied my spring quarter at my community college. I received the check once I was already admitted at UCLA taking classes. And so that just goes to show that deadline, that like the limits, they're not too concrete. Next, I want you to visit your scholarship centers at both your community college and four-year institution. If you guys do not have these, then visit your transfer center, visit your writing center, maybe your financial aid office, and they should have more information as to where you can find scholarships. Always at least begin by applying to community scholarships or like close by scholarships. You'll have a better chance because the applicant pool will be smaller. And also do not delete any of your applications. Any applications you have made, you have submitted, always save a copy. They're gonna come in handy later. I usually just build on what I already have. And so that definitely helps and makes the application process less tiring. So yes, the homework for tonight, or for tonight is, or for this quarter actually, is to visit your scholarship centers, transfer center, writing center. You want to get other eyes on your application materials, whether that be for the scholarship or for the UCs. And also do not get discouraged. I was denied so many scholarships and I was distraught. I really thought there was something wrong with me. I thought maybe, my extracurriculars weren't enough or my life circumstances were just not unique enough. But I kept applying and I got the Regent Scholarship. And so obviously, if one committee doesn't see what you offer, another one will. And so I do not want you to get discouraged. I went ahead and put my email in this slideshow if you want to talk to me about anything transfer related, anything about your application. I really do want to serve you guys in any way that I can. So if you're just looking for support at anything, please do not hesitate to reach out. When you get invited to apply to the Regent Scholarship, reach out to me. I would love to look over your personal materials for the application or anything else like that if you have questions. But yeah, best of luck, and I'm very excited to see what you guys do. I'm sorry I couldn't be there live, but it is an honor and a privilege to get a chance to speak with you. I wish you the best of luck, and I also want to let you know that it does not matter how you choose your school, how you choose a university, whether you end up at UCLA or not. We are just excited to see you go to a four-year institution. I didn't think I'd make it this far, and here I am getting ready to graduate. And so I really do want to fill you up with lots of motivation, sending a lot of good vibes. And thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And again, Marilyn, I think, I definitely have seen her growth just in this last 2 years. I mean, she was like most of you already had so many different skill sets, but really, it's really valuing, the things that you bring, the things that you already have accomplished. And, I really love her message about like, just being able to see that greatness in you is the first step to ensure that you go for things like applying for different type of scholarships, even if you don't think that you're gonna get it. I know a number of people who like apply to scholarships just, I'm just gonna apply. And they ended up getting it. So, you just never know. And just, I guess, my one statement that I always use is that the one certainty, the one guarantee that we can give is that if you don't apply, that you definitely won't get it, right? So again, this is what this is one of the very coveted scholarships, but there are so many of them too. I mean, so this is just, we wanted to mention this one because a lot of times transfer students are not talked about this one. And again, we want to make sure that you're aware of it, and that if you are invited, then you definitely should try to submit that application as well. All right. I'm gonna, any questions on this one at this point? Okay. And unfortunately, so that was Marilyn, who just spoke with us. And she's doing she's doing so many different things. Christian Hernandez was going to be here, but he actually just let us know that he wasn't feeling well. He also was a Regent recipient, and also took advantage of a lot of different opportunities while he was here on campus. So just want to make sure that that as scholars, and I think we mentioned this during our info webinars, that scholars get dollars, but it's really true. I mean, I think because you're around each other and you kind of like you share the information, you share that the strategies, the resources. I've seen definitely an increase on our scholars getting all kinds of different scholarships as well. All right, so now I'm gonna switch gears, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the Jaclyn Cook Foundation Transfer Scholarship. Has anyone heard of this scholarship before? So this is one of the most prestigious ones in the nation. So this is a national scholarship, and they select anywhere between 75 to 100 students to receive the scholarship. And again, it's geared for community college students. And it gives you, besides giving you the benefits, of course, of the funding, it does give you, they do partner up with a couple of organizations that are both advocating for transfer community college students, and that also provide mentorship. They provide advising. They provide all kinds of different services that I mean, just if you thought the money was more than enough, they definitely do more than that. And including if you decide to go to graduate school, they give you they'll give you also you'll be more likely to get it if you were an undergrad scholar with them as well. So that you can get up to $55,000 with the scholarship. So, and really that the 55, it probably won't be here for UCLA. It probably will be for one of the Ivy Leagues or a private school where they will give you that larger amount of money. But I mean, for me, that's like saying you should not be limiting yourself, not apply to also some of the private schools, some of the Ivy Leagues. And again, just know that if you don't apply, for sure you won't get in, right? So you want to make sure you give yourself that opportunity to give it a try, right? So this scholarship, I've been asking two people there if they could come today, and I think they kind of got sick of me because I kept on like calling them, and they said, we're trying to figure out if we can. Anyways, they actually gave me access to monitor the applicants from the center. So they said, you know what, actually, you seem to like know your students, you seem to like, So I'm saying all of that so that if you do decide to apply for this scholarship, I will be able to see if you have, if there's anything that maybe you're missing. And they do have reps in a lot of the community colleges, so you can actually look at the webpage and see if your community college has a representative assigned for your community college. And that person can, if for whatever reasons, maybe you missed a deadline or there was something that you were supposed to do, but you just missed it, they can advocate for you in that sense. They will have to go through a little training in order to be able to get the access. So I guess, I just guess they said, we just better train him and he can leave us alone, which is fine though. I think, I mean, I was happy that they did that. And so this is a little bit of how that process worked. The application has already opened. And it will close on January 10th. You apply through the common application. Most of you or anyone knows what the common application is? Or let me ask you this way, does anyone not know what the common application is? Yeah, I think my Wi-Fi is kind of acting up. I'm sorry. That's let me turn off my camera. Hopefully that will help. Kian, yeah. I see your hand raised, Kian Vasari. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, hey, yeah, I just haven't heard of that before either.
You hadn't?
No, I haven't.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, so this is a really amazing scholarship. This is a huge foundation. And, they provide scholarships also for high school students, for community college students, for graduate students. And they have all kinds of different services for students beyond just the money. So, I highly encourage you, if you're able to apply for it, you should. They're looking for sophomores, so basically students who would be applying this year to start in the fall. It's one of those scholarships that is also looking for a 2.5 GPA. And anyone can apply as long as their income household is under $95,000. They don't. If you have attended a four-year institution prior to being at a community college, or while you were, or at any point after graduating from high school, unfortunately, you won't qualify for it because they do want strictly community college students. So yes, so it's only being. This is one of those. I mean, sometimes we get upset that there are no scholarships. There's not as many scholarships that are just specifically for transfer students, but this one is. This one's for sure. They have very intentional about ensuring that that this is targeted to community college students. So the common application, and I think I saw a few people write it on the chat. The common application is the application that most private institutions utilize. You know how they uses just one application for all the 9 campuses, and the CASA uses one application for the 23 campuses. Well, a lot of the private institutions, they utilize this service called the Common App, and it is through this application that you will fill out your scholarships. You don't have to have applied to a private school in order to do that. But if you are applying to private schools, then this application will not feel very foreign to you. And actually, as a matter of fact, if you are applying for CASTIs at this point, the same vendor that developed the CASTI application is the same vendor that developed the common application as well. So when you are in that platform, and if you already have started filling out your CASTI applications, this will feel very, very similar. It's a very similar environment. Okay. Okay, so how do they go about selecting their students? Academics, yes, they want high academic ability and achievement. They don't, I mean, of course, they are asking for the certain GPA, but they don't define academic excellence just with grades alone. So they look at more than that. You know, just your curiosity, your willingness to, like, you know, step out of your own comfort zone. So definitely, even if you feel that, oh, maybe I'm in the low end in terms of the GPA, submit your application. They do, you know, they'll give you up to the full amount of the scholarship if you haven't met need. They also want to see persistence, meaning that they want to reward students who, despite having challenges, despite having obstacles, they push on, right? So that's one of the things that they are very interested in also nurturing. Leadership, and again, the leadership is being able to organize to positively influence other folks, and you know that can be defined as helping your family, helping your community, helping your peers. So in many different ways that can be defined. And then service, participation in volunteer community service activities. I mean, a lot of this, when I was reading it, I was like, wow, this is just sounds like the way that we select students for the university. So, you know, didn't seem that foreign to me, okay? Here's the timeline. So as I mentioned, the application is now open. So you can start doing the application. It doesn't, I mean, it does ask you for a number of things, but it's not as much as you would if you were actually applying to like an institution. But they do ask you for a number of things, and I'll go over that in a moment. The application will close January 10th. They will notify the semifinalists in March, and then in April, the actual cohort that is selected will be announced. All right, so the process of the actual application, they're gonna ask you for your finances, you know, the income in your household. When you first are doing the application, they're just gonna ask you to self-report that information. And then eventually they will ask you for, like, you know, tax returns or what have you, right? They're also going to look for activities and honors. They want 2 recommendation letters, preferably from people who know you within the educational setting. So meaning a professor, a counselor, an administrator at your community college, someone that's able to say that you are that inquisitive, you know, you are that curious, and you are willing to learn, right? They're gonna ask you about your family, and then they're also gonna ask about your plans for, you know, for fall 22 and beyond, right? So they're gonna ask to see, you know, are you someone who is looking to grow, basically? Oh, and the writing, I forgot to mention the writing. The writing is going to focus pretty much like very similar to the Regents. They want to see that you are giving some thought to your future, and then within that, you know, within those ways about the way you're thinking about the future, are you thinking about it as not only yourself, but also including how you may be able to impact the larger community. Okay, so these are some of our former, every year we have, for the last, I want to say now, I want to say it's like 13 years for sure, I know, since I started keeping track. We have had Jaclyn Cook Foundation scholars, people who have been part of our cohort and have received this scholarship. Brian just graduated this last year. Laura was a parenting student, ended up going to Williams University. And again, you know, Diana came here. Christine is here now. She's in her first year. Patricia's here now. She's in her first year as well. So, you know, these are people who are, again, you know, they're actually part of our cohort. They, some of them, you know, didn't think they would be selected. And again, they were. So making, you know, putting in that work, and, you know, of course, I'm not going to say, oh, it's just easy, because that wouldn't be true. But putting that effort, that can pay off for sure. Let me see. And I think, let me see if are any of these scholars here, because I think one or two of them said that they might try to stop by. Okay, no, I don't see any. Okay, so I know Laura said that maybe she'll try to stop by, and Patricia as well. But again, you know, you'll be joining definitely a great group of folks who have applied for these scholarships as well. Okay. Oh yeah, so this is the other thing I wanted to mention, that that in the UC application, there is this section where you will be able to select additional scholarships that you would want to be considered for. So there is a section actually that is specifically for transfer students. So again, this is one place where you want to look and see if you qualify for this. If you're not sure, I would just put it down. You know, just, you know, I mean, the worst they can say is no, right? And again, I know for a fact, actually, one of my friends, when I was, when he was in graduate school, he applied, he's Salvadorian like me, but he applied for like the Korean American scholarship. He applied for everything, and he hardly had any loans, you know, because like sometimes for these scholarships, people are not actually claiming it. So they would rather see it, give it to someone than not to give it to anyone at all. Okay. So that's pretty much the bulk of what we wanted to share with you today. I also wanted to talk a little bit just about maybe some of the scholarships maybe that you have received. One place, and you know, I heard Marilyn talk this a little bit about it. The foundations of your community colleges, they're very interested also in you know, just making sure that you're being supported to this process, and that you're, you know, that money is not going to be the reason why you know, you don't pursue your education. And so let me drop the link. I'm going to drop a few links right now. So this was the foundation. So this is the statewide foundation. So most community colleges also have their own local foundations. And you know, most of you probably have applied to some of those scholarships. And you know, again, for me, it's just a good habit to get into, to apply. And you know, at first it may seem a little hard, but once you have like Mac was saying, once you have the template, you know, you don't have to reinvent the whole wheel every single time. You have to tailor it a little bit to whatever that specific scholarship that you're applying to. But once you have the template, I mean, you'll have already like, you know, a personal response. You already will have who you're going to ask for letters of rec if those are required. And then if you know, even for those you know, just write an essay type of thing. I mean, I didn't think but this is a long time ago, I didn't think I would ever get one of those, because you know, English was not my first language. And every single time that I tried, I can get it. And they were not like a lot of money, but they were enough for like, you know, for me to like not have to work extra hours. So again, just being able to just, focus more. And, in this way, you're developing your own skill set that's still going to be useful in the future as well. The other way to also get funded is by applying to research opportunities, right? So for example, through the Academic Advancement Program here, we have a number of research programs, and they will actually give you a stipend every semester, every quarter, I mean, as you can, so you can conduct the type of research that you would want to conduct, and not have to work on top of having to do that research. So again, it's in many ways, you're just getting paid for your brain at this point, and that's the way it should be. So I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to ask our peer advisors who are here. I know some of them have had some experience in applying to scholarships, so I just want to hear from them a little bit, because I can talk about when I used to do it, and I had to do it on paper, and I had to go to the library, and there were really humongous books that when they were in the middle of the tables of every single table in the library. But we're a little more advanced now, huh? Is that right, Pedro?
Yeah, that's right.
How about you, Anthony?
Yeah, a lot of online applications nowadays.
Anthony, I know you're a hustler, so tell us a little bit about what's your hustle?
Oh yeah, so basically, yeah, I'm in the scholarship hustle. I got introduced to it through CCCP, and before CCCP, I wasn't really doing it, but I started applying for scholarships in community college. So every single semester, I would go to the community college scholarship portal and apply for scholarships there. And like, I think there's like a few semesters where I ended up getting scholarships through that portal. So everyone here should at least, just go to their scholarship portal from their community college and send apps through there. And then when I got to UCLA, I was like intimidated because I was like, oh my gosh, like all the students here probably are super motivated and it's going to be tough to get scholarships here. But I found out that there's a scholarship resource center here. Like they were talking earlier before, and they're really helpful. They have their staff consists of PhD students, like PhD candidates who really know how to write. And through their help, I was able to fully fund a study abroad. And then also, it was mentioned that you could reuse essays. I kind of tweaked an essay a bit and was able to get a second scholarship like through basically one essay. So definitely start applying or keep applying.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I was doing this and I kind of got hooked on. I was like, oh, if I can just not have to like get any loans, and pretty much my last year I didn't get any loans. I see Tracy and I also see Antonia. So yeah, please share with us.
Yeah, I just like Anthony said about reusing the scholarships and other folks mentioned, I definitely recommend that you make a file on your laptop and your computer and you just pull those essays and redo them, tailor them to those essays that you use. And also like folks said, like community colleges apply to your foundation there. Like I thought it was one of the easiest scholarships I applied to because I didn't really have to write a long essay. They didn't ask for recommendations. They do have that option, and if you take advantage of that option, you might get more funding. And so that like encouraged me. And just like Anthony mentioned, I agree, like CCCP helped me realize like I can use my writing to get funding. And So I applied to some of the scholarships at UCLA through the Academic Advancement Program. And I got one this past October, which was really cool. I honestly thought I did really bad on my essays. And then when I got it, I was like, oh my God, great. And then I applied to the Hispanic Scholarship Foundation, and I got on a wait list. So I'll find out in December if I get some funding. So fingers crossed, y'all. So yeah, so anytime you see an opportunity, just, take advantage of it. You write all the time. We write all the time for school, and we get so many resources, just use them. It's yeah, so I just wanted to share that. Thanks, y'all.
I see you all fairly texting away, hey, that's writing too. So, just text away for a scholarship. Antonia?
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to first apologize because of the noise in the background. There's a lot of traffic behind me, but I wanted to share about a research opportunity that paid me in the summer, because we briefly were talking about research, and I wanted to drop down the link in the chat. So it says math programs, and I was able to get an applied math RU position here at UCLA this past summer. And when I tell you, when I was shocked about the amount of money they gave me, I was completely shocked, because I've never seen that amount of money at the same time in my life. And so the reason why I mentioned that is because for any STEM majors that may be in here, go to that link. There's still some opportunities available to you. And when I had just transferred, right? So I had just completed my first year at UCLA, and I was wondering, well, am I really gonna get it? I don't really know a lot of math in comparison to most of the people here. And I was doubting my abilities, but I got it. And so I mentioned that because we have this imposter syndrome in the back of our heads lingering, well, am I good enough? Are they really gonna choose me? No, just do it. If I didn't apply, I would have never gotten it, and I would have taken that opportunity away from myself. So please, if there's any STEM majors on here, click on that link, look at what's still available. There's some that are, the deadline's in January 2022, so it's around the corner. Just go there, find it. As for community college internships, and not internships, scholarships, if there's anyone on here who's from Los Angeles Valley College, which is my alma mater, I want to share the link to the foundation to them directly. If I could, oh my gosh, sorry. Just want to that. I was at Los Angeles Valley College for 4 years, and in my 4 years, I only got 3 scholarships. And I tell you, sometimes we are going to get rejections, but that's okay. It's just a redirection. And so I got a few of those scholarships given through the foundation office. I still haven't gotten one from UCLA, scholarship directly wise yet. So hopefully that will come soon. But I just wanted to say don't take away opportunities away from yourself, because you're only doing yourself a disservice. Just, apply to everything, especially those scholarship ones from the foundation office. You would be surprised at how many people don't apply. Just do it. And thank you.
Definitely. And, I apply every single year to this one that was, they don't have it anymore, but it was for people who were left-handed, and I'm not even left-handed. And I got it every single year. So anyways, just, again, look for those opportunities, apply. And yeah.
I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention something. Can I?
Go for it.
Okay. So if there's any Promise students on here, California Promise, I wanted to tell you about the Los Angeles Mayor's Office, Maya program. And it's not a scholarship directly, but it's a free travel abroad program. The applications are due in December. If I could just go and find the link for it. And the reason why I mention it is because not a lot of people know about this too either. And I'm go apply for it. You do have to, unfortunately, be eligible for a passport. That sucks. I know, I'm sorry. But if you don't have a passport, but if you're eligible for a passport, if you get it, the office will help you get a passport. So don't have that be a limitation. Just again, because it's a free travel abroad. The trip that's coming up first is going to Mexico. The second trip that's coming in the summer, it's for Paris. And The second trip, though, you do have to be a STEM major. Unfortunately, that's the limitation. But I just wanted to briefly mention it because y'all should apply and get some free travel abroad experiences if you can.
Most definitely. I second, third, and fourth that one. I'm also gonna drop one from Berkeley that we just got recently. This is the Transfer to Excellence program at Berkeley. And this is actually, you get to go do research at Berkeley. So for any of you who are, well, for any of you, it doesn't matter whether you're near Berkeley or not near Berkeley. Again, this can be a great opportunity. So I'm gonna drop that one as well. And you know, again, these folks who are running a lot of these different type of programs and scholarships, you know, they're really trying to ensure that, you know, those who can take advantage the most from it, that those are the students that get it. So, you know, again, because of how known we are as, you know, throughout the state, in our program, they know that we are working with the students who not only are they they're the ones that are, you know, doing the moves and ensuring that, you know, and not only looking out for themselves, but looking out for everyone else as well. These are, you know, when you're applying to a lot of these programs, like I sometimes get a call about, you know, one of y'all, just because you say, oh, I just read that this student is a scholar, and I want, you know, want to know if you know anything about the student, and you know. And then, you know, of course, and then I pretend like I know you like really well, like you're always hanging out at my house type of thing. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, you know, I just look at your, you know, at the engagement you have had, and, you know, I definitely give the feedback. So again, you definitely want to make sure you are putting yourself out there, and you know, I think with that also comes a little bit of you getting to feel a sense of responsibility as well. And, you know, like a number of the students who have gotten this type of scholarships, they end up doing a lot of great work in all of the different disciplines, and really creating more of a community anywhere they go. So, you know, again, it's not only great now that you're, you know, of course, you know, you need the money in order to make sure that you are focusing on your schooling, but also it develops this skill set and develops a network as well. So again, I'm gonna shut up because I can talk about it all day long. All right, any other questions that we have at the moment? Any other or if you know of any other opportunities that you want to share as well, again, we welcome that too. Anthony.
Yes, so I broadly spoke about my scholarship experiences, but one scholarship that I forgot to mention explicitly was the Gilman Scholarship. So it funded my study abroad fully, but then in addition to that, if anyone's interested in like going into diplomacy or working for the State Department, it gives you like a non-competitive advantage for applying for jobs in the State Department, like I believe like for 6 months after you graduate or something like that. So besides the monetary aspect, it could also help you out with becoming a diplomat or work for the State Department in general.
And yeah, and thank you for sharing that, Anthony. Most definitely, I highly encourage you to also, you know, if to step out of your comfort zone, to step out of your local zone as well, if you're able to, and if you can. I know that that's something that I didn't do when I was in undergrad. I just always felt that I needed to be home, and, you know, realized that, you know, I should have taken advantage of some of those opportunities. And, you know, now as a professional, I definitely being able to see other parts of the world, and just how people do things not exactly the same way that we do them, and to be able to experience other ways of living, I think it's really just makes you appreciate not only what you have, but also just that, this is a large world, and it's something we don't get to see everything because we think we're limited. And, so I know that we haven't been able to do that because of the pandemic. But we do have a program within AP that it was an exchange program with the Netherlands. So, and we're hoping that, maybe not this summer, but the following summer, we will be able to bring it back as well. And that's another great program where you get to know just amazing folks who are doing all kinds of great work, around the world. So, okay, I'm going to stop right there. If there are no other questions, I don't want to hold you here, just to hold you here. So if there are no other questions, no other sharing, I appreciate you all being here. I want to say thank you to the peer advisors. I want to say thank you to Aurelia and to Ariel for being here. Again, I know that they have tons of things that they're doing, and they're just, I appreciate you being here and just, being able to share, even if it's just to hold space here and to be in community. I truly appreciate you all for doing all of that. So thank you. Enjoy the weekend, whatever's left of it, and continue doing what you need to do. Have a great one, y'all.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Santi. Thank you, everyone.
And if you're applying, don't forget, submit the application.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So funny, like I recognize a lot of these names just because I've been seeing them in the applications, in the list, in the webinars, but sometimes I still have a hard time putting like a face to the name.
Yeah, I have the same time doing that with the peer advisors too sometimes.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
You were saying something about the scholarship that was specifically for transfer students, but that you cannot have attended their four-year college.
That was the Jaclyn Cook Foundation. Yeah, that's
Right.
the big national one. But that's just one of them. There's a lot of them don't have that requirement.
That requirement is only for not attending in the US four-year institutions or anywhere in the world?
For the Jaclyn Cook, it's anywhere in the world now.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, sure. Nice to see you, Irina.
Nice to see you too, Santi. Thanks.
Hi. Thank you for hanging out here. I was feeling out because I was getting all these cancellations at the last minute. And my phone was, so.
Auntie, did you want to stop recording it?
Oh yeah, that would be good.
I didn't even notice that.